Introducing Charlotte,
Jenny,
and all that jazz.
Hello, welcome back, everybody.
Hello. Another day, another week.
Another day, another dollar. Now, today, I don't know if anyone has noticed, we probably sound quite different, and that's because this is an and all that jazz first that Charlotte and I are recording via Zoom.
Because we're so technologically advanced.
We are. I'm kind of a technical whiz kid. What can I say? It's only taken me 3 days to sort this out with a vast technical team behind me.
Yeah, you might also hear some phantom noises because I am currently sitting in the corridor at the Birmingham Rep Theatre whilst we're doing this recording.
This is our dedication to the podcast, that we wanted to record wherever we were, whatever we were doing.
Yeah, any nook or cranny.
Exactly. So here we are.
So what's been centre stage for you, Jenny? What you been up to?
For me this week, Tuesday, I went to a networking event at the Met Film School in Birmingham. It's part of BIM.
What's been?
It's the British and Irish Modern Music Institute. And that's a group of colleges that include Performers College, the Northern Ballet School, Screen and Film School, and the Met Film School, which is where I went. And so it's quite a new facility in Digbeth in Birmingham. And yeah, I was invited to this networking event. I did actually get invited last year and I couldn't go. So I felt obliged to go this year. I'm glad I did. It turned out to be good. And I took a couple of friends along with me as well, so that I didn't have to, walk in by myself. So I'm glad I did, though, because when we got there, we were put in this room. It was quite dark. I don't know why they'd gone for this ambience.
Like nightclub vibes.
Yeah, it was like that. And so we were sort of like shoved into this room, didn't know anyone else, and it turned out that there weren't actually that many students there. It was mainly other professionals. The idea is that they invite professionals from the industry to network with their students, their year 2 and 3 students, so that when they progress and graduate, they've got some contacts in the industry, which is a great idea.
That's a really good idea.
Well, it would be, but there weren't that many students there. So
no one turned up.
So we ended up sort of networking amongst ourselves, which actually turned out really well for me. So great.
Oh yeah, it works out all right for you lot, doesn't it? You can have a chat with each other and without those pesky students.
Exactly. I got to catch up with my 2 friends as well who work in the industry, and that was really interesting. Bit of a busman's holiday, I suppose, to turn up and chat about, when we're socializing, to chat about work. But no, it was good. And I met a couple of interesting people. I met a guy called Michael Ford from 3Wise Media. They're based in Birmingham, and they've just bought the rights to Bagpuss. Don't know if you remember Bagpuss.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So they're working on that. And there was a guy there, Tom, from the BBC, and he'd come down from Manchester, Salford, and he was in children's development. So that was interesting, because obviously I've got a 3-year-old, so I was particularly interested in what he does and how they develop ideas for CBeebies, CBBC, and the BBC in general. Yeah, so really interesting.
Who did you say you were there on behalf of?
I was there as myself. Well, I was down on the list, like my occupation was down as runner, which I am, obviously. I do run on for Homes Under the Hammer, but I I didn't introduce myself as that. I introduced myself as a presenter and stage manager. And you probably find the same thing, because you do lots of different things. You have lots of different jobs and roles. When someone says, "Oh, what do you do?" you're never really sure how to introduce yourself, because you don't want to, as soon as you say one thing, you've you've hold yourself into that role, and that's how they see you then.
Yeah, well, that's why like I would introduce myself as an actor first. I always do that. Even if I'm working as an ASM or if I'm working as a scenic artist. If someone ever is like, "Oh, hey, like what do you do?" I'm always like, "Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm an actor."
Yeah, put the foot forward that you want. What's the end goal, and go with that first. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like that's what I want. That's what I want people to know me as. So that's how I introduce myself, I guess is the thing I go by.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. That sounds like a really good event.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I enjoyed it actually. Got me out the house for a few hours. So, how about you? What are you working on?
I'm actually back at the Rep working on Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, that's coming up soon, isn't it?
It is, it starts, well, Fit Up is this week actually. Yeah, then it opens for previews, which is quite scary. I've only done like 2 weeks of work on it. So I was doing theming in the first week and I'm doing sign writing this week. So it's nice.
Theming. What's theming?
Theming. Theming is basically like decor. I mean, this is probably layman's terms, but I would describe it as decorating a space. So we've got these big like boxes, and they're full of. So they're for like the forest part of Midsummer Night's Dream,
Okay.
and they're kind of these big boxes that hang down from the fly bars, and they're kind of like the woods inside each box. So it's building the rocks, painting them, putting them in place, putting the hessian in, painting the hessian, and then putting the moss in and the tree branches and the foliage. So that's kind of theming. I guess we're like theming that box or those boxes.
Right. Oh, that sounds really interesting.
It's so much fun. I love it. Like it kind of when I do parties and stuff. So like I sometimes will throw parties and I do all the decoration and stuff myself and I upcycle a lot of stuff. It's a bit like that. It's a bit kind of
Yeah, like window dressing type of thing.
yeah, like window dressing. It's really fun. Like I really enjoy doing it.
I was talking to someone about parties actually the other day about how because they were talking about cosplay and he'd had to judge a cosplay costume competition.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and of course cosplay characters they get really into it, don't they? And they
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of them are incredible.
yeah, they source their costume pieces down to the nth degree, or they make things by hand. And we were saying how when you throw a party, like a fancy dress party, creating the costume and doing all the decoration and theming, as you would call it, is part of it, isn't it? That's part of the whole party experience, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I do love it and I love all the small details, especially when throwing a party like for my sister's 30th. I threw her an all white party and I sprayed all of the alcohol bottles
Oh, amazing.
silver and white and then made little labels with what alcohol was in it. And it's all those like little tiny details that people would probably not think twice about because it's just there.
Yeah.
But it's all those little things that I love about it.
I think as well, when you go to a party and that level of effort has been put into it, you buy into the party a bit more as well, don't you? So it gets you in the mood more, and yeah, you kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And then yeah, this week I've been doing some sign writing,
Actual lettering.
some yeah, making some signs, some lettering. Yes, first time freehand writing a couple of them.
Oh, free. I was going to say, how do you go about that with the lettering?
Well, we have obviously we have the design, and then we've got a new vinyl machine, so Laura can kind of create the design on the computer, and then it prints it off, onto vinyl, so you can kind of stick the letters on, and then you like freehand then draw them, following the shapes. But some of the signs have just been printed. So then what I'll do is colour on the back of the letters in chalk, put the paper down on the sign, and then draw over the letters with a pencil.
Yeah, sort of. So you're tracing it through. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, basically tracing it. Yeah, just freehand writing it, which is quite scary because if you mess it up, you got to start all over again.
You gotta have a steady hand. Can't be having their Hattie Jakes that day.
Yeah, no alcohol the night before, no withdrawal symptoms.
Oh, well done. A good one to sort of get your teeth into and very satisfying. Very satisfying once it's done.
It is, and it's just nice because you can, again, we've got music on in the background, and you just do a sign, do your own thing, paint it, make it look nice, age it. I've been having a great time this week.
What's the general design theme for A Midsummer Night's Dream? Is what periods it's set in?
I actually haven't seen the whole design, so I don't know. For once, I haven't looked at the whole design. I've just been seeing the bits that I've been working on. Usually, I've seen the whole thing, but this time, because I've come in and just I've like dipped in and out. I haven't even looked. I should probably, but I haven't.
So are you going off literally like a design on a sheet of paper, or have you got the black box?
We don't have the black box. It is just either a picture on my phone or yeah, a printout of the image. Yeah. So I'm literally just I'm freewheeling this one. No, not really. There is designs. I haven't seen the model or the any of the pictures for the rest of the show.
You'll get there. I'm sure it'll look fantastic. You're so talented.
No, it'll all look great. Like from what I've seen, like from the bits that I've seen, it's gonna look really cool. And they're doing some decoration, they're doing some theming in front of house as well for this one, which will be really nice. I love it when theatres like transform front of house.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, because you then the audience starts experiencing the show right as soon as they enter the building, don't they? It's the same as having, just as we were saying, it's the same as having a party. People buy into it a bit more if they're experiencing it straight off.
Yeah, I think more theatres should do it. I love when a theatre goes all out and they theme like the cocktails or they'll theme the drinks or something that ties into the show.
Yeah, it feels like they've bought into the whole show then, don't they? Like they're buying into
Experience.
exactly, yeah. They're buying into the whole experience. It's not just a show that's coming in, doing its run, and then out again.
Yeah,
The whole theatre staff get involved. That's really important.
it is. And I think when it's because it's the rep's first own show, it's not a co-production or anything like that. They've got control over the whole of it. So they can just do whatever they want, basically, which is I just think it's really cool.
The rep front of house is a really good space as well to do things like that because it's interesting shapes, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a blank canvas. It's just screaming out for decoration.
Yeah, and it's really good when the front of house staff dress up or do something like that, like with their outfits or uniforms, have a little nod to what's in the show because it's like they're really getting into the spirit of it.
I know, I know. I would love that. Like if my job meant that I could dress up, I mean, I know when I'm acting I get to dress up and be other people. But if my ordinary job meant that I could just dress up every day, I think I would really love that. Just come into paint shop one day as Cinderella or
Well, children do it, don't they? They just wake up and they're like, "Oh, I want to be Spider-Man today." So they're walking around Tesco's in a Spider-Man outfit. Yes, living your best life. Why not?
yeah. Yeah, why can't we? Bring back fancy dress on a daily basis.
Yeah. Talking of dressing up, I've just finished my outfit for the Panto Awards on Saturday. Yeah, so I've kind of put this outfit together. I wouldn't say I've made it from scratch, but I've put it together and I've adjusted it. So it's burgundy red and velvet, crushed velvet. So I've got a little jumpsuit underneath and then a very Panto long red jacket.
Oh, look at you.
So I've put gold, yeah, I've put gold buttons on it and adjusted it so that it actually buttons to the jumpsuit underneath. So because I'll be interviewing people, so I want it to not move. Once it's on, you know. Don't have to like worry about it.
Sew me in.
Yeah, exactly. Sewing me into my knickers and vest. So yeah. So but I was up until 12:30 last night, sewing the buttons on, sewing buttonholes in and all that. But it's part of it, isn't it? It's part of the whole get up and go of it.
It is. I was up until 12:30 painting, turning a milk float into a hippie bus.
An actual milk float.
No, like a wooden cutout version of a milk float.
Oh, okay. Is this for the party?
Yeah, for a 60th birthday party. So the people that I went on the cruise with, that's who I'm making this hippie bus for.
Oh, tell us about your cruise. You've been away on your cruise. Where did you go?
My cruise. Oh, so I went around the Canary Islands.
Oh, lovely.
It was gorgeous, really nice. I had the best time, all inclusive, lots of shenanigans.
Have you come back fat after the all inclusive?
I thought so when I got on the scales right back at my best mate's uncle's house, and I was like, oh my God, I've put on a stone. So I was like, I went to Craig and I was like, we were talking about whether we'd been on the scales or not, like having a joke because of all the food and stuff that we'd eaten. And I was like, I've put on a stone. And then I explained to him how much I'd put on, so like what my weight was before. And he was like, you can't have put on a stone. And I was like, I have. But then when I explained the weight to him, he was like, Charlotte, you've put on a pound, you idiot, not a stone.
No. No, it's hard not to cane it, isn't it, with the all inclusive? I've always said, I reckon if I went away somewhere for, say, a month or 2 months, I would actually end up losing weight because the first few days you really go to town, don't you? And you try everything and you're like, yeah, I'll have a bit of that, I'll have a bit of that. But the second week, they usually repeat the menu. So you've tried everything. And especially if it's hot, I don't eat as much anyway.
No, you don't really, do you?
I think it's easier to make healthy choices if it's all laid out in front of you and you just have to choose the salad instead of the chips. I find that easier.
Do you see? I'm going for the chips every time. Also, there's a whole they do like afternoon tea and stuff. And the one day I was like, oh, I'm not even hungry, but there's afternoon tea. And I hadn't tried it yet, and I think it is the last day. And I went in to have a look at what they'd got, and there was like cakes and everything. And so I was like, oh, I'll just get there's these like little scones. I was like, oh, I'll just get one of those and put a bit of cream on it. And I ate it, and it was the most delicious scone I've ever tasted. So I went back and got another three. Yeah, and I literally just sort of sat by the pool eating my three scones.
It's like that little Britain sketch where she's like, so you get the cupcake, cut it in half the calories. You can have twice as much.
But to be fair, like we were quite active, so we were getting up at like 9. We were out until 2, 3 a.m. dancing every night. We went, me and Soggy went to the gym twice whilst we were on the ship. We did like a salsa dance class. So like we were active and then we'd get off the boat and go for a walk around whatever city we were in. So we were quite good to be fair. It was a good time.
Oh, brilliant. Sounds like a really fun packed holiday.
It was great.
Were there any,
Went to watch some entertainment.
I was going to say, were there any shows on board?
Yeah, so they did like a different show every night, which props to the performers because I reckon they're learning a show and performing a show at the same time, or rehearsing a show and performing a show at the same time because they do a different one every night. Obviously, they've got different costume changes. They're all singing, all dancing. So it's really intense. I wasn't a fan of the shows themselves.
In what way?
The choreography was a bit boring. The songs were a little bit boring.
Do you mean like when you say boring, do you mean like old hat, like it's been done?
Yeah, a little bit old hat and all, but they're catering. It's hard because they're catering to such a wide age range. So they're obviously trying to like cover everyone. But the shows are like themed. So like one night it was like Coney Island, one night was like a Greatest Showman. That was pretty decent to be fair. But it was just kind of like the choreography never really differed throughout each themed show. But again, they're rehearsing and performing at the same time. So the choreography obviously can't be that complicated. Otherwise, they would never learn the show in time to perform it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? That because on one hand, they're learning so many different shows and sequences that you don't want to overcomplicate it. But on the other hand, if it's too simple and samey, surely that's harder in a way because it's easier to get confused with all the different scenes within the shows and the shows within the.
And you're like, oh, which arm pump was this one? I can't remember.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't a fan. I'm not really a fan of like jukebox type musicals. So
Yeah, you like the grittier stuff, don't you? I like the jukebox stuff. I'd have probably been sat there in my element.
you would have had a great time. No, like I had a good time, don't get me wrong. And we were like joining in with the songs and stuff. But they did have like a speciality act who kind of jump in and do a bit of a dance. They're the guys that taught the salsa class, and they were phenomenal. They were probably the best performers on that boat. We got to see Brian Connolly Jr. He performed a couple of nights.
Oh wow. It's a puppet. That was Brian Conley, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it was. Brian Connolly Jr. taught us all that. I'm pretty sure he brought it up one point in his show.
Was he the comic? Was Brian Conley Jr. was he like the comic on board?
No, he sang. Yeah, he sang and did a bit of a boogie.
Oh, okay. So was there a comedian?
Yeah, well, we didn't see one. There might have been one somewhere on the ship. Is there a comedian out there?
Because they often have a comic, don't they, as part of the repertoire. Would you like to work on cruise ship? I'd love to have worked on cruise ships. I wish that's one thing I wish I'd done.
Well, I actually did get a job on a cruise ship when I left uni. I got a job with the Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, but I was with not a very nice person at the time, and they didn't want me to go, so I didn't end up going.
Oh no.
Yeah, I ended up staying in the UK. I did open a dance school, but that was just an excuse so that no one blamed him for not making me go on this cruise. But then they banned me. Well, they banned me for 5 years for applying for a job after I turned it down.
Oh really? You can't apply again for a certain amount of time?
Yeah, apparently I didn't know that, but yeah, she was like, "You're banned from applying for a job now for 5 years." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry."
Well, there's still time. Well, that was more than 5 years ago, wasn't it? You're free. You're free to do as you choose now. I'm glad you had a good holiday though.
Oh, it was fun.
And I'm off on holiday next week.
Oh, where are you going?
Yeah, I'm off to Wales, to Sunny Sands, which is Talibont near Barmouth.
Oh, nice. I love Barmer.
Yeah, good fish and chips and good ice creams. Big beach. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. I don't think the weather's going to be great, but we'll take the sunshine with us.
Yes, you will. You'll have a great time. It's really nice.
Yeah, we'll get togged up and go for some walks and stuff. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Get in the sea. We're English. We're on the beach in any weather.
Yeah, we don't care. We don't care about hypothermia. Hypothermia is for wimps. So, what have we learned this week?
Hypothermia is for wimps. That's a good life lesson to have.
Yes, correct. Right, Charlotte, I'll leave you to get theming for Midsummer Night's Dream. And I'm going to go and get my research and cheat sheets sorted for the Panto Awards.
Ooh, exciting.
And we shall reconvene next week.
Yes, come back, join us next week on the radio, on all podcast channels, wherever you fancy, we'll be there.
Join us next time for more on theatre, television, and all that jazz.